So this video is really for anybody else out there, males specifically. These might be a few pointers that could help you when it comes to what not to tell a woman, what not to do, how not to approach. So I made a video last week on how I'm learning there's a difference between being good and being nice. And I have a long history of being nice but not very good. And I've sat and done a lot of thinking, and I realized one of the ways that I have been nice to people but not good to them is that I tend to go on dates with guys, decide that I don't want to continue seeing them, but never tell them why it is I don't want to continue seeing them. I've been dishonest about the exact reasons why. And I think we kind of all do that. You know, you have that specific moment where you know for a fact, this is going nowhere. This could never work between you and I. And I've never actually told them what those exact reasons are. I make up excuses. To be honest, I have not reached the level of maturity that it takes to directly tell it to any of them. My hopes are that you follow me on Facebook and you're going to see this video. And if you recognize yourself, then this is why. I'm sorry. I'm not going to dredge up all things and just go randomly messaging people to tell them, you know, we went on that date that one time. Here's why it didn't work. These are the things I discovered about you and myself while we were in this conversation, why this didn't work. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I do believe that because of dating people, I have gotten advice that could be very useful for somebody else. Also, maybe it's just me. I genuinely do not think that I'm very picky. I do not think that I have a very high level of requirements. I just think the standard is too low. I once read this thing where this girl was like, the bar feels like it's in hell. Like it's so low. How low can we really go? Because do I really have to tell you this information? But you cannot judge people on them not knowing if you never give them a chance to use the information that you have, right? So my most recent date was back in December last year. So the way I met this guy, he was part of a group of band members and musicians that I knew who took me out just to listen to live music. It wasn't to perform or anything. And he was a stranger. He's somebody I'd never met before, but he was friends with one of the guys that I knew. I mean, they didn't bring the guy for me, but he was just around. And we sat next to each other on the ride to reach the destination. And he just struck up a conversation. Now, I like when a man does that. He's showing he's friendly, like we were thrown together by circumstances outside of his power. And he's showing he's friendly, but he's not being overtly interested. To me, tell me if I'm wrong, but to me, when a man is able to talk to you as an attractive woman without hitting on you in the very first conversation, it tells me that he has standards for himself that are deeper than just what his eyes see. Because I was cutified that day. I cutify myself sometimes. And I hate when a guy approaches me and it is clear from his approach, he's not coming to find out if I am worth his time. He is coming to have some fun. So just anybody could have fun with you? Literally anybody? Are you of any value to yourself? So he did that, and I really like that. I really, really like that. He's just having a casual conversation with me. To be honest, I can't remember what the conversation was about, but just very nice casual conversation. And then as the night progressed, I started to see the interest turning on. Again, something else that I like. Experience me first through observation, then decide if you like me. Because if you are still, as a grown man, just going for anyone you are physically attracted to, you still don't understand how not to waste my time. I want to watch you observing me and then growing more attracted to me. Make sense? Make sense? Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, I think it makes sense. So the night is progressing and he's dropping little hints, but not the obvious hints. Does anybody else know the look I'm talking about? Like watching a guy realize more about who you are and seeing that realization make him watch you more. I think that's one of the key factors to my attraction. I find that really cute. And this is what, for me, negates a type. I don't care if you're tall. I don't care if you're short. I don't care if you're outrageously good looking. I just really care that we don't make hideous babies. It's a very simple, not that much of a difficult thing when it comes to physical. I don't want you fat. I do prefer slim, but it's not a deal breaker. The most important thing that gets me interested in a guy is watching him learn more things about me and grow more attracted to me because of what he's learning, not because of what he sees. Well, in addition to what he sees, because you have to see me first. I like that. And then grow more interested in me as you're learning more things about me. So he checked that box. He invited me out, and I'm like, I'm gonna say yes. And then the date went. Step one, if you invite me out as a guy, the plan is yours, sir. You need to know where you want to go and what you want to do if you're asking me out. Is that really so hard to decide? Like, if we're in a relationship together, you know, it's some of mine, some of yours, some of mine, some of yours. But you are the one acquiring my attention, which means you need to be offering something. How do you propose a date and ask me, where do I want to go and what do I want to do? No, that's your job. And I'm very clear about the differences between your job and my job. That's your job. You're supposed to know where you want to take me and what you want to do. First pink flag. But I ignored the pink flag. I said, let's go. I haven't seen a red flag yet. First pink flag. Indecision. I ignored it. I decided what I wanted to do. To be fair, if you ever want to know what I want to do, it's mostly put my feet up and have as little to do with movement as possible. So don't ask me if you're looking for extravagant, detailed. No, I'm getting old. So this guy asked me out. I decide what we're doing for the day, which is mostly nothing. Second pointer, a date should be something where I have an opportunity to talk to you. I don't think a first date should be something where it's so filled with activities that we do not have time to talk. That's a waste, because it's from the conversation that I'm making a decision if I want to see you again. And it should be from the conversation that you're making a decision if you want to see me again. You get to choose too. So my preferred first date is somewhere quiet, sit down and talk and see how long the conversation lasts. Pink flag number one, it was my decision what to do for the day. Anyways, ignore that. What did I choose to do? We could sit down, talk, watch a movie. All right. So we're sitting watching the movie. And technically he's being respectful, but I don't understand why you feel the need for your body to be close to mine and I don't know you. You are free to sit adjacent to me. Why are you touching me? And it's not sexual touches. Maybe it's just me. But I have this built-in mechanism where if I don't love you, I don't want to hug you, I don't want to kiss on the cheek, I want nothing to do with you physically because I don't know you. And then after I know you and I love you, not just know you, after I know you and I love you, I'm very confused as to why you're not touching me. I require constant touching. Which I guess can be a little misleading because at the start it's don't touch me and then you think maybe she's somebody who doesn't like being touched and then you are attracted to me because you like that. And then I require too much touching in the long run. And that's another story for another time. So, step one, I'm already a little uncomfortable because you feel comfortable enough to be cozy with me. And I'm trying to give the clear indications. You know those little signs where you move closer and I do this? Guys, this means go back over there. Go back over there. It's not come here. It's go back over there. Doesn't matter if I'm smiling and enjoying the conversation. This is still a decision-making process to decide if I want another one. And unless I've decided that I want many, many more, then I don't want you to touch me. So that was pink flag number 2, but it's getting like a darker shade of pink, you know? And he was a nice man. He was a very nice man. I can't lie. He was nice. And generally, I like nice. But I think because of the pink flag, because my brain is trying to balance, you're being nice, but I'm still shying away from you touching me. You're being nice, but then I'm shying away from you touching me. And your niceness is not setting in. It's not setting in. And that was the thing that created the distance for me. The distance meaning this date could have gone very well or it could have gone very badly. It didn't go terribly, but it did go to a point of I don't want to see this person again. So I start saying things like, you know, I'm the kind of girl that takes a long time to make up my mind, which is true. And my lifestyle does not really support a relationship, which is true. And I really enjoy being single right now, and I genuinely don't know if I want to be with someone, which is also very true. I think the further I'm going, the more I'm realizing, boy, you know, life is nice by yourself. But shit, that's nice. Of course, there are moments of loneliness. And that was one of the reasons why reading in the Bible, the fact that I was designed for a man, it really makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that because maybe it's just one of those human things we do where we adjust. But as time is progressing, I am genuinely adjusting to, I am preferring my own company. At first it was like, I have no choice. And now I have learned how much more comfortable it is to be alone. And now, every time I think about a relationship, the consideration of all the comforts I have to give up to adjust to having somebody else in my life, like you have to blow my mind. You have to blow my mind for that to be possible. And the point is, I am very available for the mind blowing, but there's a process. There's a process. And the process starts with step 1, invite me somewhere. Step 2, make it somewhere that we can talk. Step 3, engage me in conversations. I am completely useless at small talk. Who came up with that concept? Why is it a thing? Why do we need to do it? Why are we talking about, I don't care about your name. I don't care about your favorite color. I don't care about who your family members are. I don't care about anything about you unless I like you. And isn't it the same for you? Why do you care how I slept last night if you don't know if you like me? What does that have to do with you? No, these conversations where you care about all the little details are after I know you. As in, I know what your character is, and your character makes me go, wow. Then I care, when was the last time you cut your hair, or did you, like, why are we talking about this on a first date? This has nothing to do with what's going to change what makes me attracted to you, or to me, what makes you attracted to me. But that's just maybe my perspective. Anyways, that's not the clincher for me. The clincher that really sealed the deal, where I'm definitely not interested in this guy anymore, was, so he only had time for one day because he was leaving the next day. But you know, that's what phones are for. You know, people keep talking. And we talked on and off the next week. It was around Christmas time. So, you know, that's like that busy time. Okay, so just on and off. Then when we finally had time to sit down and have a proper conversation, we had time. This guy starts a line of questioning that basically painted what life with him would be like. And I was like, girl, if you do not lace up those running shoes and run the heck out of there, you're going to be stuck in boring. He realized that I love to sleep. And then he goes, well, I noticed that you like to sleep. How would that play out in real life if we had a relationship? So he's giving these examples. So let's say we were together. He loves to go out, but I love to sleep. How would that play out? So I'm like, well, of course, if I'm with someone, I know that I need to make compromises. But you also need to be adjusted to me. One of the adjustments are, you cannot tell me tonight we are going out tonight. No, sleep is always on the agenda. You need to let me know in advance that we have somewhere to go on whatever date. Therefore, I will take some power naps. You know, I will prepare myself to be by your side. All right. That sounds good. And then he goes, oh, but sometimes I like to go out and make daybreak. Excuse you, how old are we? Do I look 21 to you? And you are still older than I am. Why is a man at 40 wanting to do daybreak? Daybreak doing what? What are we doing outside like that? I'm sorry, but when I go outside, there needs to be a specific line of entertainment. And when I am done being entertained, it's home time. And why do you need to be out until the break of dawn? That's another... So that wasn't even a pink flag at this point. This is a red flag. Like, why does a grown man feel the need to be out until daybreak? And it is important for me to stay up with him. Don't you understand how metabolisms work? They slow down with time. Mine is on the decline, darling. It's not on the upcline. It's on the decline. Anyways, he talks about daybreak. So I said, all right, in the spirit of compromise, just ensure a pillow is in the right, because if there's one thing I've experienced that I'm never doing again in my life, is trying to keep up energy to pretend like I'm still interested in being out drunk and dancing when my feet are dead and tired, the makeup has melted, and it's sleep time. But I am not the person to pull you out of your enjoyment. If we can have a nice little carry bag, like, you know, some people have a picnic basket that they carry with them. My picnic basket includes, you know, the eye mask, the earmuffs, removing my makeup, and a nice pillow, a little throw blanket to go with that. I'll be sleeping in the vehicle waiting for you to come. You don't need to hurry up. We just need to have a place for me to sleep when my sleep hits, because I'm not about to stay here irritated trying to understand when is the sun going to start shining. Foolishness. And then the biggest red flag that made me decide at diner, running shoes. He proceeds to paint another scenario where he's like, okay, that can work. But then what about the times when, if I don't want to stay with him, would he be allowed to stay out with his friends? Absolutely. Once we have a trust between each other, if there's one thing about me, you're not about to turn me into no detective. Me are too lazy for that. I give you my trust. I am not looking over my shoulder to see if maybe you decided to cheat. So if you cheat, it's a loss to you. If I cheat, it's a loss to me. So if you decide to lose, I will find out when the appointed time is coming. I am not chasing down information. If you decide that you want to stay out with your friends and I wish to reside in my bed, then by all means, darling, go out. Who's stopping you? And then he says, all right, because he knows women sometimes have this thing where if you're not out with me, then you can't be out at all. Okay, I understand where he's going with this. Fine, that's not me. The clincher was when he said, all right, so let's add to that scenario. What if he goes out and then there are these times when he wants, after he comes out from being out, he wants access to my body. And I was like, wait. What? If we're together, you come from wherever you come from. If you want sex, do I mind being woken up to have sex with you? No, it's not the concept that I'm against. It's the fact that you do not understand that there are certain pre-requirements that allow you access to certain parts of me. And you are now painting for me what life would look like with you without giving me any information on how you would make life interesting for me. You imagine, it's like going to a job interview and then they ask you, when it comes the time when they tell you, so what are your questions? And you're asking them, so how late is late? Like what's your lateness policy? And their first question is, oh, so you plan on being late? Of course, the company has an understanding for being late, but that understanding comes with time and trust, which you do not have yet because you haven't even made it through the first line of questioning. You haven't stepped foot in the building yet, and you're trying to understand, how many times can I comfortably be late? You're asking them, how often does my pay get raised? You're asking them, what's your take on, may I raise my voice in your office or may I not? How do you all feel about swearing? You're giving me all of the worst scenarios by informing me that this is behavior I should expect. And come on, let's be real. Everything that a person allows is based on how I see and connect with you. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but this is why there are depths and sequencing and timing to relationships, because there are certain depths that you reach with someone and then depths that you do not reach with someone else. It's not that all depths are available to everybody just because you are. That makes no sense to me. Is it possible for me to have a man that I am so in love with who can have access to my body at any time that he wants? Absolutely. But the caveat is, did you hear that first part? Absolutely in love with. If I'm not absolutely in love with you, no, you cannot just wake me up for sex. Are you insane? But then I would not be in your bed in the first place if I'm not in love. Like, don't you understand how this works? And that was the big waving red flag that killed that there. You are the person wooing me. You are the person trying to get my interest. Yet you're painting for me how terrible life could possibly get with you and how much compromise that I should be willing to make for you. But you have not shown me anything about you that is worth compromising for yet. Honesty has a place and time. Because trust takes time. Who raised you? Who told you this is an okay question to ask me at this time? Trust me, darling, you don't have to worry about that. This is not a concern yet. You're showing me that you can create problems that have not existed yet. And that's, I'm sorry, but that's just a big no for me. And if that makes me too picky, then slap that in between Dinah and Pending. That's my middle name then. Too picky. Dinah, too picky, Pending. But I am not about to enter into a relationship with someone who has already seen all the ways that I should compromise for him, but has not shown me any of the validation as to why I should want to compromise for him. Do you understand what it means to sell yourself? As in, you sell your best qualities first, not your worst ones first. No, the worst ones are the ones we discover after we already love and trust you. Then love covers a multitude of sins. But I don't even like you yet. And I'm supposed to be looking out for your sins. Oh, I had a good laugh at that. I can't lie. I had a good laugh at that. So if by any chance, grown man, sir, you are here, it's done. This is never happening. But moving forward, you might want to consider sell yourself before you shoot your own self in the foot. You know? Take that advice, because it makes sense.